Virgo.
Hello Virgo, this is your forecast for July 2014, and this month we are entering into summer at full blossom, and it's just a wonderful renewal of energy. We're coming out of, the tests and tribulations of these last months, so it's really starting to look up for you. And this month here pretty much is going to be about a career, looking into either improvement or stepping it up, or looking into a possible, perhaps, promotion. I'm feeling that you are presenting yourself in a great way to your employers, and also communicating those things that are really, really important, especially because Mercury being retrograde there in June. And if you're looking or watching this here on the early side of July, then Mercury is still retrograde until July 1st. So what that means, it already kind of like went into your 11th, but it's into your 10th house. So you're wrapping it up here, 24 degrees here in Gemini, top of the month. So you still have a few degrees now with Mercury moving direct to continue maybe some negotiations or talks that you had there in June. And this is going to behoove you, and you're going to come to see how this retrograde, even though it might have caused some delays for you, and of course that's always a little bit frustrating, but you'll come to see how this behooves you, especially because it's in this area. And since you still have a few degrees to go move forward with here in July, it being there along with Venus, well, I'm thinking that you can pretty much either get a promotion or a raise, or those of you looking for new work, that would also be now new doors opening up. And then we'll see. The universe is always unfolding as it should, in its time. And besides that, there's also a lot of focus here for you with friends. The sun, the new moon, and also Jupiter in this area. So some of you might be visiting friends at distance. Jupiter is oftentimes out of country, foreign countries, and or they may come here to visit you. And this whole year has been a very expansive area relating to people outside of where you live, okay? Out of town, out of state, out of country. There's been a lot of expansion here, but see, now Jupiter is going to change signs this month, July 17th. So you will see that that era is going to start shutting down on you. And now Jupiter is going to be moving into the 12th house, which has to do with you and your inner self, your spirituality, where you're probably wanting to align yourself with what is important for you, to take time for you. And it's going to be here for a full year as it's cruising through the sign of Leo, which will be to summer of 2015. So you will notice from being extremely extrovert and outgoing to now taking a deep breath and, really settling within yourself and doing those inner things, hobbies and so forth that might be very rejuvenating to you. And Jupiter is going to be there and preparing you for a new 12-year cycle starting next summer. All right, so now this year, it's all about reflecting also on the past karmically. What have you accomplished over the last 12 years? And now, what can you obtain from moving into this new cycle when Jupiter gets into your first house? But we'll talk more about that over time. Also, what's really important this month for you is Mars, which has been in the area of your income ever since December. Okay, so there's been a lot of focus on money, crunching numbers, looking over, your income streams and so forth. And not just that, but also you've been working really hard since this December at looking at what it is you desire, what you want and what you don't want. Mars being in that sign of Libra, balancing those things, and we've talked about it months on end, that is concluding itself. So it's coming to an end here on July 27th. So this is like the last few weeks now. where it is going to wrap it all up, and you'll see. And if you still have things needed to be done as far as your income stream, get it done now in July while Mars is empowering you. Then it's going to be moving into your third house for communication. We'll talk more about that in August, because there's only a couple of days left in this month after it changes signs. But you will see how it's going to shift away from your financial perspective and or what you've had to really fight for as far as your own sense of self and dignity and pride and those things that you now have been fighting for. You know, that could be, you know, your job, it could be your prestige, your goals and ambitions. It's going to relax you. Mars is going to move into the area of communication here and be there for a little bit in August. Then we have the Sun and the New Moon also in the area of friendship this month, and so you might see how you're going to be spending a whole lot more time with them, nurturing them, being nurtured from them as well. And the New Moon here is in July 22nd coming up, and that would be the area for you to put down your intentions for this month. And of course, you know, when we're looking at the 11th house, it's about those things that are important to you, that are shared with those you care for, plus any groups and organizations too. So when you're enjoying yourself deeply this month, you know, promise yourself, I want more of this. I'm going to make sure to make time throughout the year to do this more often, not just like once every 3 months or every 4 months. I want to make sure that we can get this on a time plan. So that's beautiful. July 4th here, of course, in the States, that is our national day, but above and beyond that, it is a powerful day. The Sun and Pluto being opposed to one another, so it's really looking at where you're at and your pivotal point of transformation. Whatever you've been working on now the last 6 months, when the Sun conjuncted Pluto, well, now it's opposing. So go back 6 months, and what happened there in the area of children? One or more of your children, or it could also have been something that started with a creative project. You might see now how this is coming up here, cresting, for you to look at what has been achieved. And now would be the time where you can feel that pretty much things are resolving itself, coming to that transformational point. On the 7th, there is some great news coming in. This would be between the area for you, the 8th house and the 10th house. So financial situations maybe, news, insights for investments, or if you have, if you're looking for that raise, that could be it. The 7th would be a great day to receive news on this. Yeah, and it could also be about money that you hold shared with a partner, perhaps as well. On the 8th and 9th, well, there might be a decision coming up that could be sprung on you on the 8th. And if you're not quite sure where to go with it, don't feel or allow yourself to be pressured to answer right away, because that answer might not come before the following day when the Sun meets up with Saturn in a beautiful aspect. And you know how Saturn grounds us, gives us body, gives us an anchor. Saturn will know exactly where to go with this. This is between the area of communication and friends. So if something is sprung on you, needing to make a decision there on the 8th, just ask them, you know, say you want to sleep on it, and then you can give a very ground and sound response on the 9th. But the 13th, hey, listen, this is time to rock and roll. It is a time for Venus and Mars to get together. They have beautiful energies being shared here. So you're radiant, you're glowing, and so is your partner. For those of you attached, well, great time to go do whatever it is you want to do. And for those of you single, well, it's a fun time, great time too, not to mention, to meet somebody that you can feel that connection with, okay? So put that on your calendar and be out and about. On the 19th, yes, Mercury here now moving forward, okay? So it's out of the retrograde, it's out of your 10th house career. So Neptune here is wanting to empower it with some insights of communication that's important to you. Now, I'm feeling a lot of this has to do between your partner, which is Neptune in that 7th house, but Mercury right now coming out of the 10th into the 11th, it's also in the area of friendships, okay? So maybe for those of you single, for example, where somebody in that circle of friends or extended friends, there might be an attraction going on there, and you're wondering whether this is something that can blossom or open up or become more of. Well, you'll know a little bit more about that after the 19th, because there's this antsiness. I see that you just want to know, what is this? Where is it going? You know, what is his intentions? Or what is her intentions, for that matter? So, yeah, I'm seeing you really wanting to get on with it, and it's kind of like a little bit of a theme that will follow you throughout the rest of July, because after Mercury gets into this little dance, which rules communication, Venus is going to kick in and do the same thing. You know, and Venus is very romantic here, lining up with Neptune, which is the higher octave of Venus. So I'm seeing romance, but then I'm seeing it being coupled up with first Mercury asking, questioning Pluto, can I trust this? Will it go somewhere? Is it only me? Is it a one-sided thing, or is there something more behind it? And then Venus coming in, which is your emotional self, questioning Pluto in the same way. You know, is this really something more, or is it what it is? So don't be too hasty to take your decisions. Allow the month to unfold. It's such a magical month for so many of you here, Virgo. And for the rest of you out there that feel that you're finalizing something, well, hey, listen, let me tell you, though, that those oppositions with Pluto can help you finalize if you've been working on getting out of a relationship. Well, that Pluto will help you to shut the door, okay, because it's endings. But for those of you awaiting a new beginning, it also implies, here we go, here comes new beginnings, the point of transformation. New doors opening up. So I love that. Love, love, love that. Now listen, Mercury is going to be in that 10th house of career until July 14th. Okay, then it's going into your 11th house. So anything you need to now finish up as far as your career, communications, negotiations, and so forth, do that prior to the 14th. Because it's going to be a full year before you will have the same opportunity to really speak up for yourself, okay? Then we have on the 17th that Jupiter, which is moving out of your 11th house into the 12th. That is the shift that you're going to notice. It would be a whole year in this new area of the 12th. Then we have the 19th, which is Venus moving out also of your career house. So yes, I'm seeing how this is the top of the year. It's going to be until next summer before you get this chance. So having Mercury and Venus in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is a talker, right? Gemini wants to know. It's trying to obtain knowledge here for you and insights in the career area. That is moving into your 11th house after July 19th. So then you're shifting away from the focus on career, now moving into the area where you're going to lay back and just have a whole lot of fun with friends. Great time for vacation here for you, Virgo. Anytime here after July 19th, and then, you know, throughout into August, of course. So that is what we have. We have the full moon. I do want to talk about it because it's going to be a powerful one. This full moon will be right up against Pluto, you know, and that doesn't happen all too often. And Pluto, once again, that inner transformation, it finalizes, and the full moon crests, it also finalizes it. It's harvesting those seeds that you sent out prior. So pay attention to this full moon, which is going to be July 12th, okay? For you, this full moon, it will be within the area of creative projects that you might have, or your own business, the business you own. You might see here now that something is really coming to the forefront. And I see it as being creative. I see it being very transformative. It's like really opening up a new door. It's also the area of love, new love, not necessarily, you know, like the long-term committed type relationship that the 7th house represents. But by all means, you know, married couples also have a 5th house together for romance. So it can be a very powerful romantic evening here on the 12th, or where things can really kind of flush up to the surface. And when things are good, it's really good when we have that, because Pluto can become so deep and so intimate, right? So emotions can be spread deeply. So yes, make sure that you have a good one there on the 12th. The new moon on the 22nd, like I said there, area of friendships and hopes, dreams, and wishes. So as you see, we have a great month here, looking out for you, Virgo, and I'll see you next month. But, you know, as always, check out your moon, your rising sign, and talk to you soon. Bye now.